welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's Thursday, 8th of August, which genuinely means that we are, I actually don't know, 9 days away from Premier League kicking off. And to be honest, Arsenal still haven't done anything in the transfer market. It's actually wild, to be honest, if you think about it, how we have 9 days left and everything's going according to plan. Technically, realistically, nothing is going according to plan, which is kind of wild. Hard to imagine hard to imagine that things are happening, yet nothing is happening for Arsenal, which is very, very weird at the same time. It's very, very weird. Kind of big up Pepper in the chat, big up. It's kind of weird. It's genuinely, we are very, very close to Premier League kicking off. We have one more friendly left against Lyon. Technically, it's not a friendly, it's for the Emirates Cup. Arsenal should be winning that game given how we performed against Bayer Leverkusen. But you never know, because Arsenal basically are sometimes very bogey. So who knows? Maybe Calafiori will play against Lyon. Who knows? But overall, quite interesting stuff today. Arteta obviously has spoken in an interview about Calafiori, about transfers, all that stuff. But of course, big things still stand. Big questions still are there. Where is Merino? Daily Mikel Merino. What is happening with him? Nketiah. Where he's gonna go, or if he's gonna go. What's gonna happen with other players? Who is gonna come in? Because Edu has said that we will have 2 more signings allegedly. So we haven't had one yet since he said that. No Merino, no nothing. So make it make sense. Where are all the signings? But obviously today we're gonna kick things off with Mikel Arteta's interview. Then we're gonna get into transfers. There is Osimhen, Nketiah, Merino, Kingsley Coman, and some other stuff to talk about. So that definitely will be very, very interesting. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to smash that like button, and everything helps the algorithm. Hit that bell, get interactive in the chat, comment, chat, do all that good stuff. If you're watching this on playback, of course, leave down in your comments down below. I'm gonna try and answer every single one with my point of view and yours as well. But I think Arsenal fans are gassing this win against Rusty Leverkusen too much. They looked like they were learning how to play football last night. Well, they had their second or third choice goalkeeper in the goal. We cannot deny that fact. Arsenal had pretty much one of their main possible starting 11s this season besides Fabio Vieira, if you think about it, because Zinchenko, Gabriel, Ben White, Saliba, Raya, Jorginho, Havertz, Jesus, Trossard, pretty much every Odegaard, pretty much every single one. Well, arguably you can put this starting 11 out in the season. Besides Vieira, who we will put Saka instead of him. Besides, that could be our starting 11 for some game, definitely. So it's definitely that. But at the same time, to be honest, I must say, Bayer Leverkusen also had pretty much their whole main starting 11 out. They had Grimaldo, they had Frimpong, Wirtz, and all that stuff, but they are 1 week behind in preseason training before us because Bundesliga starts 1 week later than Arsenal's Premier League. But at the same time, they didn't look like a team who last season went invincible. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't look like a team like that. But who knows? How's Merino deal progressing? We're gonna talk about that in about 10-15 minutes. First things first, we're gonna go through Arteta's interview. But the Merino deal is definitely getting dragged out for hella long. And to be honest, there are multiple reasons why, in my opinion. And we gonna get into that in a second. But we're gonna kick things off, as I said, with Mikel Arteta interview, who talked after the game. In a conference, there were questions about Calafiori and about other players, about situations. So let's dig straight in. So first things first, obviously Arsenal won 4-1 yesterday. Shame we couldn't keep a clean sheet, but it is what it is. Trossard scored incredible goals. Zinchenko genuinely was great last night. That is the weird part. And if Arteta could play him at number 8, not left back with inverting, maybe he could be even better, but who knows. But Zinchenko, yes, they actually had a very good game, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, On tonight's impressive performance, what happened against Bayer Leverkusen, we can take a lot of positives from the game as well as the result. The way we performed, there were lots of positive aspects collectively and individually. I think we take a lot from it. A lot of things to learn from it as well. I think we can improve, especially in the second half when we made 7 changes. Obviously, Arsenal subbed on some starting players in the second half, but quite a bit of youth. And we saw as soon as Kivior came in center back instead of Saliba, Nichols came in instead of Gabriel, it looked a bit more shaky on defense. Mostly because of Kivior, actually. Because Nichols looked actually better than Kivior did, which is mad. Plus, remember when we signed Kivior 2 years ago? We got said, he beat the pace record for the fastest sprint, blah blah blah. He beat Theo Walcott. So at the end of the day, we saw yesterday, he couldn't even catch Hložek. Generally, he couldn't even catch Hložek, who chipped the Raya and made it 4-1. So it's weird. It's genuinely weird. On the absence of Calafiori and Timber had a little discomfort in his foot in the last few days, and obviously after amount of time he's been out, we didn't want to take any risk with him, which obviously makes sense. Coming back after ACL injury, being out for 7 months, it's not easy, and definitely it will gonna take some toll on you. So that kind of makes sense. In regards to Calafiori, so much happened to him in 1 week. He's come to a new environment with different methodology, and different training. So we are managing him, and we want to do it slowly in the best way possible. Hopefully, he will be available to play some minutes on Sunday. So there is a possibility that he's gonna play on Sunday, which actually could be kind of nice. And against Wolves, I have no idea at the moment who's gonna play. I guess we have to wait till Sunday, see how he plays, if he plays, and how we look, because if there's chance maybe of Calafiori starting against Wolves, I would start him. At the same time, we need to start season very strong, which means Zinchenko starting at left back, by the way. So it is a bit of an iffy one. On the involvement of Bukayo and Declan, the season starts in 9 days, so they have to be ready. This is the demand that they have right now. Well, we'll look after them every day that they are with us. When we have the ability to give them days off, we do. Obviously, they got overplayed last season, pretty much playing every single game last season, from bell to bell almost. Plus, then they had international friendlies in the middle, and on top of that, they had Euros as well. So definitely, it wasn't a great thing. The best thing to do is look at their faces, man, and see the spark in their eyes. Okay, on whether he'll ease them in. They will tell us. What do you mean? What do you mean that we need to ease them in? He mad. Saka already doing madness. The boy's gonna... Exactly. He already yesterday cooked the left back. Did a cross. He got blocked by Granit Xhaka, which unintentionally actually converted into assist to Kai Havertz for goal. But yeah, Saka looked actually quite decent, even though he didn't have much time to play. At the same time, it is what it is. We need to win the league this year, yeah, and that is a fact. That's why we need the striker, we need backup for Bukayo Saka, we need 1 or 2 midfielders, we need proper signings, proper players, very experienced players as well. On top of that, we cannot go with all this youth all the time. That is also the big thing. So time will only tell. What do you mean adjust my mic? Give me a sec, let me see. It's actually... Wait. My mic is... Okay, what do you mean my mic is okay? So I talk in a very weird fashion. So that's why sometimes it may seem a bit louder or a bit less loud. Plus I kind of tend to be very articulated with my movements, very cinematic. So that's maybe why I move forwards and backwards. It is working, that's the thing. I can see it is working. I see on OBS and everything. Anyways, on seeing more Ethan Nwaneri and Skelly in the first team, if they continue like this they're doing right now, there's no difference whether they come from the academy or we sign them from Germany or Argentina or Italy. If they are showing the quality that they have, the personality they have to play at this level, let's see. Why would we put any restrictions? If they deserve minutes, they get minutes. And I really hope, to be honest, that especially Ethan Nwaneri gets minutes. Because Arsenal did a lot to keep him, to sign on his first professional contract 2 seasons ago. Or was it last season? Last summer. They really pushed for it hard. and he got professional contract before he was allowed to become a professional. So definitely that was the big case, and Arsenal obviously believe in him very, very much, which means at the end of the day that actually Ethan Van Giery, given how Arteta has promised him some actual minutes this season, will actually play quite a bit potentially. So that is very, very instantly. About Skelly, I don't know. Genuinely, I have no idea. He might play. In Cups, definitely should play. In Premier League, remains to be seen. It could be up here or there depending on results and outcomes of the games. If we are 3-0 up, then subbing him on is a more or less no-brainer if the game's pretty much dusted and done. If we're fighting 2-1, Skelly might not be the option. And that will be the biggest thing about this. Van Giery is gonna snatch Odegaard's chain. I don't think so, though. I generally don't think so. He's too raw for that. He's too raw for that. Although, on certain instance, I wouldn't mind sometimes seeing Van Giery coming on for Odegaard and seeing how he performs. Although, because we sub Odegaard off quite a bit, to be honest, as well during the season, so it might be the case. In 2 years, Odegaard and Van Giery. Van Giery actually might be starting in a different position in 2 years. Not specifically number 10 for Odegaard. He actually might be starting in a different position. There is a possibility of that as well. Still young, still needs to develop. I can see him maybe getting subbed on at number 8. Potentially. But that remains to be seen. Genuinely, that remains to be seen. Yeah, for you, that's the thing. You think that Odegaard should be on the left. The issue with that is, if you put him on the left, you ruin the right side. Because the right side is the side that actually works for us. Left side is the issue that doesn't work for us. And the partnerships between Saka, Ben White and Odegaard are the ones that actually work. And since our left side is kind of a mess, basically, with no proper left back, with no proper left number 8, we don't have consistency there. I generally believe if we get a consistent left back there, consistent left number 8, who can kind of play in those roles, we will be good. We genuinely will be good. The thing is, when are we gonna get this right? Because we need to get this right in order to win the league. That's the big case. Because we cannot basically rely on Saka, Odegaard, White triangle throughout the whole season. We just cannot do that. Although we kind of tend to play most from that side. So it is what it is. Understanding developing between Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz. I think it's something you can see coming. It's natural, it flows. There's good chemistry between them, and as well with Leo. The 3 they have the false 9 profile. I really like what I saw today. The big thing about this is Havertz actually looked very decent at that left number 8 yesterday. That is the big thing, even though I was screaming that I don't want to see him at that left number 8 anymore, because it was pretty much based on how the first part of the last season went, first half. But now, yesterday, I know it's coming off from one game, it's semi-dusted Bayer Leverkusen side, still in preseason, but at the same time, that left side with Havertz, Odegaard and Jesus was working actually very, very good. The fact is that all those 3 players can play technically as a left winger / number 9. So they can rotate all around. Playing that left number 8 role is a bit of a task for each one of them, because we saw last season Trossard there, he got run over physically. Havertz wasn't the greatest last season, but if Arteta can adjust the tactics so it plays to his strengths, we actually could get something out of there. But Jesus, no. Jesus at left number 8 I don't want to see. But overall, if we try to rotate that side, the fact that they all can play in 2 positions, every single one of them, just the level of quality depends on that, actually might open up certain places for our team. Certain uncharted territories, if that makes sense. Because last season we saw many times Havertz making some brilliant runs. I'm not gonna lie, there were brilliant runs in between the lines, between defenders' backs, from that left number 8 spot. The thing was, Odegaard never either didn't see the pass, or he was playing the safe pass and decided not to pass him, and nobody most of the time didn't see those runs, or just didn't pay attention to them. If we can unlock those passes, we actually could kind of exploit that option with Havertz in left number 8. As much as weird it sounds for me actually saying this right now, which is very, very weird for me. Very weird. Not sure how that would go. Luis Skelly ball shielding is already soon. To be honest, Luis Skelly for his age is actually very good physically developed. That is the big thing. It's kind of like Chido Martin, but that's a different story. He's just physically more mature than the most players he was playing against last season. So that's why he could have scored those 30 plus goals. But overall, yeah, Skelly physically is actually very, very strong. And that was what Arteta was indicating. He's strong on the ball, which means he can shield the ball, hold on to the possession. And that's why actually Mikel Arteta has indicated that he also sees Skelly as a left back who inverts into that 8 role, which is, I don't know if he has some weird obsession these damn seagulls should shut the hell up, you know. I don't know if he has some weird fetish of this left 8 role or something, but it's weird he has stated that. But actually Skelly came on, tried the Zidane skill, the turn, that was mad. He actually pulled it off as well, and he got instantly fouled. That was actually quite shocking, I'm not gonna lie. The balls on that guy, it might be the young inexperience, so he can take such a risk at the same time, but it might actually be that that's his footballing IQ to do that, and that actually worked off as a charm. That was actually mad. He was inverting a bit early in second half, but we see that possession. Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing. That's what I was saying yesterday on stream as well. The reason why I think Fabio Vieira, who had a shocking game in a way yesterday, has been put out from the center position, like number 10 or left number 8, into wing, is what something Arsene Wenger said when he was coaching at Arsenal. He said, youngsters, many times midfield youngsters at first get put out on the wing, because if they lose possession, it's not as detrimental to the defense as losing the ball on the wing. Because if you lose in midfield, you can be screwed instantly because everyone's committed forward. If you lose on the wing, you have midfielders, you have time to come back. And Skelly inverting, given his inexperience, maybe, and his young mind and everything, that he's not ready just yet, if he loses the ball in that midfield position, which he tends to do at times still, because you can see he's still a bit raw in certain instances in the game. If we lose possession, we are screwed. That's why I'm not a big fan of Skelly inverting into that midfield role, because technically he pushes up our left number 8 to the box, and he is playing that left back role. So if he loses possession, we are instantly one defender short. And if Ben White overcommits going forward, we have only Gabriel and Saliba back, and then we could be actually royally screwed. So that it is a very iffy, very delicate subject in this instance with Skelly. At this stage, at least for me. We'll see how it goes. Mangieri is miles ahead of Skelly at the moment, so that's why I think he will get some nice game time. Skelly is a bit of a 50-50 one. Kai and Leo, I can't even pronounce this word. Devotailing effectively, whatever that means. You have to be sensitive to read the information that the players are giving you. Individually, the chemistry they have within the unit, how things flow on the side and the other, it's certain something that we can still develop, especially on our left side. Yeah, our left side is dusted, genuinely fully on dusted. Those combinations are giving us options. They're all really, really good players, so competition is quite big there. The thing is, if Arteta sees Skelly as a left back who inverts, it means that technically we have about 6 or 7 left backs on certain instances, because we have Calafiori, Timber, Zinchenko, Kivior, Tierney, Skelly. I'm missing someone. Tomiyasu. We have 7 left backs. If needed, we have 7 left backs to play there. If you want to be totally ridiculous with this counting of left backs, Kai Havertz has played left back for Germany as well, so he can be a left back and everything. So we have very big overcrowd population in that left back spot. It's actually nuts. And Saka as well, to be honest, if you want to go that deep, he played for England there as well. Yeah. But overall, yeah, if you exclude, let's just say, Havertz and Saka, we have 6 or 7 left backs in our team, technically, the way Arteta sees the thing. Obviously, our defensive line can cover each position they want, basically, because Timber can cover, well, basically how Arteta has seen it and how we saw it last season in the beginning, whole cross-back line. Same can be said for Tomiyasu. White is technically right back / center back. Kivior is center back / left back. Calafiori is left back / center back. So even Tierney is left back / center back. So out and out, like, specialists in their positions are our two center backs, Gabriel and Saliba. Rest of them are Swiss Army knives who are very versatile and slot in every position they need to. Which Arteta really loves. I think he has a big obsession with that as well in a way. But that's you kind of need. But at the same time, it works. It genuinely works. On Jesus looking back to his best. Yeah, I must say, Jesus physically looks very good. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like he has fully recovered from the injury. It's just now getting the reps in and to actually get into proper form. The issue with this is, no matter how good form he is in, as he said himself, scoring goals isn't his forte, which at the end of the day is the biggest flaw with Gabriel Jesus. He cannot finish consistently enough. I said from day one, the first feeling when I saw him after talking to him at the end of the season is that he was something different. I could sense it. Oh, the aura, he could sense it. His energy was different, the way he looks is different, the way he's moving is different, he really wants it now. It's about finding that consistency and doing it in any context, against any opponent, against any formation, any day, every 3 days, for 90 minutes, for 30 minutes, for 70. Man, he can waffle. I'm getting tired even reading this waffle. And if you produce in those circumstances, it looks good. This all, in theory, sounds like very, very good. This all works until he gets injured, which actually can inevitably happen, or we play a low block. Because in that low block, we can struggle if we cannot get the ball to Jesus. Yes, he likes to dribble. He's very good in these tight spaces. The thing is, in those tight spaces, you can maybe sometimes get only 1 or 2 chances to score. And Jesus isn't clinical enough to score one of those 2 chances most of the time. That is the biggest issue here. That is the biggest issue here. So it is what it is, but we'll see how Jesus goes. He looked quite decent in preseason, I'm not gonna lie. On Alexander Zinchenko role this season, and this is a big one. Left back or midfielder? Left back or midfielder? He actually has gotten a new number now, number 17. He has Kevin De Bruyne's number, if I'm not Edu's old number. Isn't Kevin De Bruyne also number 17? Or am I tripping? Am I mixing him with someone else? Kevin De Bruyne, his number's number 17, yeah, for City. He's number 17 for City as well. Basically, yesterday Zinchenko, with that number 17, played like Kevin De Bruyne. Now, don't take this out of context, by the way. He was moving, he was passing, and he scored a banging long shot. Something similar to what Kevin De Bruyne does. It's a weird comparison, but roll with me here. Let me land. Now, roll this season. Please be a midfielder. Obviously, he has played in midfield. Yes, for Ukraine, most of the time he plays midfield, with Mykolenko playing at left back. Cool. But the main focus for him right now is playing as a fullback, and the options and solutions he provides in that part. He knows the quality that he has. He knows the things he needs to improve. He's another one that is really at it. So, wait. Zinchenko, 27 years old. He knows things he needs to improve at. Man, he's 27. Improving to become defensively solid is way past that. We are way past that. Either you play him in midfield or you play him at left back against teams who cannot properly counter you with pace most of the time. If you play him at left back against Liverpool, Manchester City and stuff like that, we are dusted instantly. If you try maybe some Ipswich and stuff like that, it might work. It might genuinely work. It's actually kind of wild. He's freaking 27, a bit too late actually to try and do these things. Some of those moves remind me of peak. Exactly, we actually played very nice football. And the way we scored that first goal where Havertz goes around the pass around outside, Havertz, then I think it was Odegaard who dummied it, dropped the shoulder, and then Zinchenko just blasted far corner. Or the second goal where we passed the ball into the box, Jesus passes it, or was it Trossard, to Kai Havertz, and Havertz, despite his 6'4" height and everything, somehow manages to give the pass to Trossard, who sends the defender and the goalkeeper back to Germany, back to their training base, and just passes it into the other corner. That was just brilliant goal. I genuinely believe that at the moment, in a way, Trossard should start in front of Martinelli. Because based on how Trossard finished last season and how he's looking at the moment, the way he was looking, He has earned that left wing spot. I think with the Martinelli coming back, he will have, in my opinion, should start off the bench and earn his spot back into starting 11. I genuinely believe so at the moment. Shame we are playing Wolves who won't give us space that lever. Exactly, that is the big thing. Although under Gary O'Neill they are looking actually pretty decent in preseason. That is very worrying in a way. Obviously the good thing is they don't have like very pacey wingers now. Especially if they sell Pedro Neto, although they are trying to sign some, which is a bit of a worry, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. So it will be very interesting to see what happens on Sunday against Lyon, and then what's gonna happen on Saturday. Because that left back spot pretty much is up for grabs. It's not safe for anyone until someone comes in and takes it, but like we need players who can take game by the scruff of its neck. That left back position also someone needs to come in and take it by the scruff of its neck, hold it tight and never let go pretty much. He was very solid and very good there. Now speaking of that Wolves game, I said I will be doing a watch along. At the moment, unless something changes, I have a flight 20 minutes before the game starts, which is very pissing me off, I'm not gonna lie. So I might be half an hour late. I might be home around half-hour mark of the game being in for the live watch along. So I still don't know what's gonna happen. I really hope maybe I can reschedule the flight and everything, but it is what it is. We're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. On Edu Nketiah being linked away, please tell me he's going away. Freaking hell. We cannot talk about things like that. He played some minutes today, he looked like garbage. Generally, the way Nketiah played yesterday, he didn't look like a player who A, would be fighting to stay at the club, or B, would be auditioning for a different team and show them that they need to sign him. Generally, he wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. He just runs around like headless chicken pretty much. Even against in preseason in the US, even when he was running around getting the ball, many times he tripped over his own feet, over the ball and everything, and skied the chances he had. He's a player who has given so much. We really like him, and at the moment there's nothing to discuss. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyways, I don't want to dwell on that. We're gonna talk about Nketiah when we get into transfers in about 2-3 minutes, so we're gonna go there. On whether he's had conversations with Aaron Ramsdale about around playing time. Going deep now, shame it's end of the interview. Is the same situation with all the players. Everybody wants to play. That's a politician's answer and a half if I ever heard one. I have to give those options. They have to earn it, and there is no difference. What the hell? I have to give those options. They have to earn it. How Ramsdale can earn some game time if Raya is always starting? Ramsdale started, I think, 8 or 9 games in Premier League last season. 2 of those games was because we played against Brentford. I think it was, we won 3 and we lost 3 with him in the goal. I think something like that. Something weird like that, I think it was. And yeah, how can you guarantee him playtime? How in training you can show, a goalkeeper can show to you that he should be starting over the number 1, quote-unquote, number 1 goalkeeper? He can't. You have to give him a chance. But I generally believe that when Aaron Ramsdale, in an interview with Ian Wright, I think it was, he said, I cannot focus for full 90 minutes. I need to have banter with fans for a few minutes. Then I can focus back. That basically put a big red cross over his future at Arsenal. And Arteta basically is looking to get rid of him as soon as possible. That's the way I see it. Genuinely. I think he has done enough. Even though it is what it is. Biggest thing I'm very confused about is, at the same time, is last season when we signed Raya on loan, right? If you knew, well, basically they knew, that Raya is gonna become our number 1 keeper, right? At that time when we signed Raya, Ramsdale was, quote-unquote, as per media and all that stuff, most expensive goalkeeper in the world. Around 60-70 million pounds, something like that, something weird like that. We all knew that Raya is gonna become our number 1 goalkeeper. On my video I said that he would become our number 1 goalkeeper by January. or February, something like that. I didn't expect it to happen by November, not even sooner. So basically, it was pretty much written in the cards that Raya is going to become our number one, because if you look back at the transfer window when we signed Ramsdale, before we signed Ramsdale, we tried to sign Raya actually, but Sheffield United wouldn't want to let him go. Or was it Brentford at the time? I don't remember. But they said, no, we are not selling him. And that's why we signed Ramsdale. And now when Arteta had the chance to get his toy, he got it, and it really looks like the old toy, in hence this instance Ramsdale, not good enough. Surplus to requirements. Bin him. And yeah, if you knew, easily could have just sent him to Gulag and sold him last summer. It generally wouldn't hurt for Raya basically to play almost every single game. If you were that concerned, put Hein in goal for about 4 or 5 games. Generally, the outcome wouldn't be different. Genuinely, the outcome would not be different. Because when Ramsdale was in goal, most of the games, we either won and he had no job to do in the goal, or we lost. Our goalkeepers in general usually don't have much time what to do, because they don't have anything to do most of the time, because we hold most of the possession, and our defense is rock solid. Now that I said it, probably I'm going to jinx it for the Wolves game, but it is what it is. And yeah, they don't have to do much. They have to face odd shot here or there, and they need to save it in order for us to win. We saw how that went against Porto. We couldn't manage a shot on target in Porto, and they had few shots. It should have been 2-0 by halftime. It wasn't, and in 93rd minute, they just ripped one, let one go from outside the box. Raya is out of position. The one time when we needed him the most, he didn't step up. It is what it is. But yeah, that was Arteta's interview for today, and it is what it is. But now we are getting into transfers. We're going to talk about Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, Edward Nketiah, what madman is Mikel Arteta, and all that stuff basically. So here we go. First things first. Real Sociedad is expect Martin Zubimendi to accept move to Liverpool. According to Real Sociedad sources, clubs would still need to agree a fee unless Liverpool decide to trigger the €60 million lease clauses, which needs to be paid in full. Which in theory sounds very bad, because obviously for Arsenal it was said and it was reported that Zubimendi doesn't want to leave Spain. He wants to stay in Spain. He wants to stay at Sociedad. But now, here we are. And it doesn't stop there, to be honest. Apparently Liverpool, Sociedad are doing everything in their power to try and keep Zubimendi. See, Real Sociedad expect midfielder Zubimendi to agree a move to Liverpool. But if we move a bit on, here it is. Martin Zubimendi has been called up for Real Sociedad next game with Liverpool. While Liverpool are trying to convince him. Basically, what Sociedad are doing here, trying to keep Zubimendi. That's what is. That's what's happening here. Because Zubimendi has years left on his contract. Because Mikel Merino has not been called up, as Arsenal talks are still ongoing. Advanced, but with deal structure / payment terms to clarify. So Arsenal are still discussing. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. But basically, if they lose Merino, they will lose Zubimendi as well. So Sociedad are doing everything in their power to try and keep Zubimendi at the moment. They're having internal discussions and everything. They're doing everything to keep him. Because if they lose Zubimendi, they will lose Merino as well. Genuinely, they will lose Merino as well. Which means they are screwed because their midfield will be genuinely dusted. The other thing about this is, if Arsenal sign first, which doesn't look that way by the way at the moment, but if Arsenal sign Merino first, there will be even more pressure on Sociedad to keep Zubimendi. The thing is, if Zubimendi moves to Liverpool before we sign Merino, then genuinely anything can happen. Because at that time, genuinely, I can see a scenario where Sociedad try and keep him no matter what the cost. Because even though Zubimendi has said he's in last year of his contract, he doesn't want to resign, if they offer him proper bag, there is some possibilities of him staying, even though he has gentleman's agreement with Arsenal. This is a very tricky situation. Because if Arsenal sign Merino, that might put on a veto, in a way, for Zubimendi to leave. But at the same time, it might even speed up the things. It genuinely is a 50-50 one at the moment. And I still have no idea why Arsenal haven't signed him. Because it's been more than 3 weeks and we are still sitting on talking about daily Mikel Merino. Because Arsenal are interested, they are in talks, personal terms, the payments, structure, add-ons, and all that stuff. And still, no bid has been put in. No bid yet. Which is very, very questionable and very worrying. Which also leads me to believe that Arsenal potentially have maybe identified different midfielder they could sign. Which generally could be the case. And Merino is their safe option if that deal falls through. There is also a possibility on that. It's very, very weird at the moment about this Merino, because I don't see a logical explanation why Arsenal are discussing for 3 weeks payment structures and paying the 30 million plus add-ons to Real Sociedad if the personal terms have been agreed upon. And he's in last year of his contract, the amount that it's gonna get paid more or less is also being known for about 2-3 weeks now. For 2 weeks you are talking. Something is fishy there, genuinely. And I cannot put my finger on what, but something just doesn't seem right in this instance. Late Arsenal transfer news with updates on Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, Nketiah. Yeah. Anyways, on to Mikel Arteta. This, I'm not sure how to feel about this, by the way, but here it is. At dinner with his players, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta secretly hired a team of professional pickpockets. The sleight of hand artists were tasked with going around the tables, pinching phones and wallets from unwitting first team squad. At the end of the meal, Arteta stood up and asked them to empty their pockets. Seems the reason. A number of players were missing valuable items. The idea was to teach his squad the importance of being ready, alert, and prepared at all times. This is hella weird for me, genuinely. Arteta obviously is a very madman, a very big madman, because it started with for all or nothing, playing on You Never Walk Alone on speakers, getting a dog and all that stuff, and now he has turned to pickpockets. The biggest questions are, where do you hire professional pickpockets? Is there like a website or something like that? Where do you get them? Second, how they go around the tables? Are they the waiters? Are they, I don't know, something like fans trying to get pictures or something like that? God knows who. But at the end of the day, was to teach the importance of being ready, alert, and prepared at all times. Now, if you're a professional footballer, it would stand to the common sense of reason that you are alert and prepared at any time on the pitch, because if you have your ball at your feet, you are instantly scouting the field. If you're not gonna get tackled, your teammates are open and you wanna release the ball. Makes sense. But in this instance, this leads me to believe that he's thinking that some of our players are sleeping on the pitch, or they are not paying full attention at certain times during the game, during the training, or something like that. Because this is a very weird practice. He genuinely is like cementing his legacy on some level of being a madman. Mind you, I'm not judging this, because it's a very interesting type of practice. Because to be honest, you need to be aware of your surroundings at any time, every day of your life, which to be honest stands to reason. The big thing is, everyone's making a mockery of this, which really is kind of annoying for me, because if Pep did that, if Klopp did that, if Marcelo Bielsa did that, everyone would say he's the biggest, he's the best in the world, he's the GOAT, this is genius and everything. But since it's Arsenal and Arteta has done it, it's a laughing stock instantly. Genuinely. It's mad. It is mad. Anyhow, Edward Nketiah, Huzzah! Still here, still at the club, still causing us pain. On the pitch, off the pitch, wherever. Now, As we all know, Bournemouth are expected to make a move. Bournemouth are potentially selling Dominic Solanke to Spurs. Same goes for Brentford, Ivan Toney. Spurs are exploring options to sign Solanke or Toney. Yeah? And this is the big thing. If Bournemouth or Brentford sell their main strikers, they are expected, both of these teams, to explore and maybe come in for a bid for Edu Nketiah, which also is a bit far-fetched, but it's this catchphrase that is floating around throughout this whole transfer window, which also, for me personally, I have caught on to it in a way. It says domino effect. Because, for example, we're speaking about Spurs, right? Richarlison goes to Saudi, Solanke goes to Spurs, Nketiah goes to Bournemouth, or Toney goes to Spurs, and Nketiah goes to Brentford. It would cause some sort of a domino effect. I generally believe so. Arsenal rejected multiple offers from Marseille as they are aware from interest from English clubs. Arsenal want nothing less than 30 million. The thing is though, it was reported yesterday as well that Arsenal now are much more lenient in offers for Edu Nketiah, specifically from Marseille. They are willing to discuss more talks and maybe accept a bit, just a tiny bit increased offer. So Arsenal, in a way, have maybe either realized that they are doing something wrong here, or they are desperate. One of the two. Either they're desperate to sell Nketiah, or they have realized what they're doing wrong. So that is the big question. Which one is it? Because also, if you recall, Mikel Merino, it was promised that we gonna sign, give me a second to fix my face cam. We got promised that we're gonna sign Mikel Merino as soon as a midfielder leaves our team. Right? Emil Smith-Rowe left a week ago. And we still haven't signed Mikel Merino. Which also means either we have a better option than Merino and we are working on it behind closed doors and we are trying to not get it discovered, or we actually have no money. Which actually makes a lot of sense in a way, because I generally believe if we sell it in Nketiah, we're gonna sign instantly Merino. I can generally see it happening that way. Even though the reports are saying any signings of forwards is dependent on outgoings of Nelson, Nketiah, and Aaron Ramsdale. We have heard nothing about Reece Nelson leaving. Ramsdale is recently, some rumors have come up, but we don't know what's gonna happen there. So it is a very, very big question mark. On top of that, by the way, Spurs have concrete interest in Ivan Toney, according to Alex Cook, and this could be news for Arsenal as Nketiah is on Brentford's list to replace Toney if he leaves this summer. Remains to be seen what's gonna happen there. Why can't we swap Eddie for Solanke plus cash? That is the big question. Rather Eddie, yeah, exactly. Although I wouldn't say no to this. We give you Eddie and a cool song about him. You give us Solanke and 20 million. Would actually be kind of nice. But Eddie plus cash for Solanke. Solanke is 65 million. 60 to 65 million it's been reported. Which means if Eddie is 30, 35, we need to pay 30 million on top. Which in a way makes sense, right? But how can this make sense that we do Eddie plus cash deal if we even don't have enough money to sign Merino at the moment? So that means only one thing. We have no money. I think Edu hasn't proven enough that he can sell our players for Josh Kroenke to sanction extra money, extra funds to sign other players. Because Edu has promised us 2 more signings, according to interviews, reports, and some rumors and all that stuff. And where are they? Exactly. We have to sell Reece or Ramsdale. To be honest, Reece and Ramsdale in a way, to sign more players. Because we got told we have 2 million war chest. If we had 2 million war chest, we would have signed 4 players by now. Because if we have this 200 million war chest, right? 27 million goes on Raya. 40 million goes on Calafiori. That's 67 million, right? Right. We just sold Emil Smith-Rowe for 34 million. Well, 27, okay? 67 minus 27, it's 40 million. So technically, we should have 140 million left. Where is this? So where is the money? Where is the money? Where is this 160 million? Where are they? We don't have it. We actually don't have it. We have to sell to sign at the moment. Because this is my belief. Josh Kroenke has said to Edu, as I will give you money, extra money, only then when you show that you can sell and get some ROI, return on investment for us. Genuinely. Because selling Emil Smith-Rowe was saying that it was guaranteed for us to sign Merino. We sold Emil Smith-Rowe. Apparently it's not. It's not good enough, or it isn't enough in this instance. Which again means we need to sell Nelson and Nketiah. Because I don't see any other reason why we are 3 weeks talking about payment structures for a 30 million deal. I don't see any other reason, especially since personal terms have been agreed upon already. I don't see any reason. Atleti snatched our 200 million war chest. To be honest, it's a myth as well that La Liga teams have no money, that other teams have no money. They have money. They just don't spend it so recklessly as Premier League teams. They actually either invest in certain future players because their team in certain position is already solid, or once or twice they spend big and sign proper players. And that's about it. So they play the proper smart game. They sign a player who can play in certain position long term for 4 or 5 years. Or if they sign a player for about 30-40 million, right? It's a player they can then sell for a profit instantly. There's no shadow of a doubt in my mind about that. It's just saying they don't have money, La Liga teams. They have money. Don't get it twisted, they have money. Even Barcelona has money. They have paid partial part of their debt off. They are 1-for-1 standard in La Liga. The bank president has said that. La Liga president has said that. They can sign players. They can. Genuinely, they can. There's nothing holding them back. It's just a myth that they don't have any money. Anyways, Edward Nketiah. Anything else on Edu Nketiah? Tottenham stopped their interest. Arsenal dealt worst case Edu Nketiah transfer blow as Chelsea target. I don't care. Arsenal have been, there are some people who are urging for Arsenal to sign Ivan Toney. And to be honest, I can see that urge. Toney is available for 40 million. Why can't we sign him? 40 million, according to reports. 40 million. The same amount Arsenal at first wanted for Edu Nketiah. Make it make sense. Legitimately, make it make any sense whatsoever. Anyhow, let's see what else is here. Let's refresh the page quickly so it gets removed from random stuff. And now we're gonna go here. Just like we talked about it. On Arsenal's move for Merino, it's getting closer. They still need some conversations with Real Sociedad in terms of payment terms and structure of add-ons. But the conversation is ongoing at the moment. It's a verbal exchanges, so still no official bid. No official bid. 3 weeks you are talking to these bums, man. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Sociedad, by the way. But it's getting on my nerves. 3 weeks you are chatting about a player for 30 million and you cannot get it over the line. This is all indications of the fact that either Edu is shit, he needs to go, and we are incompetent in transfer windows, in negotiating, or we have no money. One of the two. And to be honest, in a way, I hope it's both. No, this sounds weird. I don't hope it's both. I rather hope that it's Edu, not the money. Because that would show everything you need to see that Edu is not good enough. Give him to Nottingham Forest, to their owner, can put him CEO in front of Olympiacos, Forest, and Rio Ave or Gumarães or whatever the Portuguese club is. Genuinely. There's no reason for 3 weeks not to sign a player for 30 million euros. No reason. No reason. West Ham signed 3 players in 1 week. 2 players in 1 day. Make it make sense. It's West Ham. Anyways, On to some other striker news. PSG are close to reaching an agreement on personal terms with Victor Osimhen. And despite interest from Arsenal and Chelsea, the Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen is prioritizing move to PSG. According to reports, Arsenal are still making significant efforts to secure the transfer of 25. This is weird. We cannot sign Merino for 30 million, but we are going in for Osimhen. So generally, we have the money or we don't. It makes no sense. Genuinely makes no sense because we would have to pay 80 million for him. Despite strong interest from Chelsea, PSG, Gunners remains in the race for this talented player. Yada yada yada. It's all waffle. Genuine waffle. Arteta, we talked about Skelly. This one. Victor Boniface. For me, right from young age, I've supported Arsenal all my life. Which, to be honest, stands to a reason. He's a Nigerian. Arsenal have massive fan base in Nigeria. And to be honest, just like Osimhen, his name is Victor. Why are not we going to sign Boniface, by the way? It's just putting it out there. Why are we not going for Boniface? Let me check this. Victor Boniface. How does he look? How did he do last season and he has done in his career? Because this is also a big question. Victor Boniface. 40 million euros. Contract runs out in 4 years. I would say he would be around 50 million pounds. Something like that. Victor Boniface. So, in Bundesliga last season. He's played 1 season in Bundesliga. In 23 games, 14 goals, 9 assists. So 23 points in 23 games. Looks pretty decent, but he has had a massive injury. So is he injury prone? That is also the big question. Just random question. Why we are not going for Victor Boniface? Just randomly. Just putting it out there. Oh. Although, the thing is, he doesn't get injured often. Once every 2-3 years. But when he gets injured for for massive amounts of time. He came for Bodo Glimt, by the way. Massive club, to be honest, in Norway. Love the club. All seasons. By the way, in the chat, would you take Victor Boniface at Arsenal? Would you take him at Arsenal? So, before Bundesliga, even in Europa League, 8 games, 5 goals, 1 assist. So, before that, he played 1 season in for the Union, right? In Belgian Pro League. 31 games, 7 goals, 7 assists. Europa League for Union in 10 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. So in Europe, he's actually doing pretty good. Bodo Glimt doesn't count. How old is he? 23! Perfect age for Mikel Arteta. No Didi, by the way. Pause and no Didi and no nothing of that. Why we are not going for Boniface, by the way? Why we wouldn't go for Boniface? In 34 games for Bayer Leverkusen, 21 goals, 10 assists. So 31 points out of 34 games. He actually has done pretty decent. Would be less than Osimhen, less than Gyökeres, more or less the same amount as, what's his face? Ivan Toney. Didn't do much yesterday, by the way, but it is what it is. It's weird. It's genuinely weird. I wouldn't be against Boniface signing for Arsenal. Genuinely, I wouldn't be against that. Call of Fury we talked about. Now, there is the thing. With Arsenal rejecting Olympique Marseille's bid for Nketiah, they have changed their tune and they're trying to sign Wahi. Arsenal were linked Wahi last summer, by the way. Remember that? And Lens have rejected Marseille's second bid for Wahi, 22 plus 4. They want about, what, 30 million if I'm not mistaken for Wahi Tuna. Or something like that. Here it is, yeah. See? Wahi wants to join Olympique Marseille. The striker is now Olympique Marseille's priority. This is according to Eduardo. Well, that is Faken. He doesn't have the most reliable information. But it's coming out from Loic Tanzi, who is L'Equipe writer. So, they have turned away from Nketiah. And they're going in potentially for Wahi Tuna. Very, very, very interesting. And the issue with this is that Lens are inflexible. They do not want to hear about a loan and are demanding more than 35 million euros. Almost the same amount Arsenal are demanding for Edu Nketiah, by the way. Although it's been said that Arsenal now are more lenient, so about 27 to 30 million euros actually might do the trick. That is the big question. Although Wahi wants Marseille, allegedly Edu Nketiah wants Marseille. So it is a big question, what's gonna happen with him? Genuinely, what's gonna happen with him? Now, according to Athletic, Chido Martin, remember the youngster scored billion goals last season, now has signed for Manchester United, 30,000 grand a week. They are negotiating with Arsenal over compensation fee for Chido Martin. The question is, how much could Arsenal get for this? 10? 5 million? 10 million? 5 million and 20% sell-on clause? We will have to follow this because this is very interesting. These youngsters cannot move to a different club without getting paid compensations and not having some sell-on clauses and stuff or potentially built into their deals. So this is the only good thing that has come out of this. Arsenal have lost the talent, but they will get paid. That is the question. Just how much is the big question. And the last one for today is more about Merino. Rumors going around that Sociedad are making a huge push to convince Zubimendi to stay. If he doesn't want to come, Austin Joyce would become tier 2. Ornstein said that they expect him to say yes, and Joyce said all that's missing is the release clause being paid. Now this is the big thing. They are playing with fire. Sociedad are doing everything they can in their power not to lose they both starting midfielders. Because if they lose both, their midfield is generally flat. They will have to go panic buying some midfielders. Even though they have Mendes and some other players, they genuinely will need to buy someone. And they don't want to do that. And that is the big issue here. It remains to be seen what's going to happen with all that. But Real Sociedad are pushing hard to try and keep at least one of them. And keeping Zubimendi at this instance is the most... is the best option. Because it looks like there is no chance they are keeping actually Victor Osimhen. Mikel Merino. If we don't get a striker, we are not winning anything. True, 100% true. My question though is, why we are not trying to sign, for example, Victor Boniface? I just threw it out there today. He is worth same amount as Ivan Toney. He's 23 years old, so super young. His goal scoring record is actually not bad for Bayer Leverkusen in 34 games, 21 goals, 10 assists. Now, bear with me here. He might be a one-season wonder because Bayer Leverkusen were having a fantastic season last season. Because this season they might get found out. Who knows? But again, he is 6'3", completely different type of striker to Jesus, and that actually could be a very good one. I generally believe that actually could be a good one. What's up, Adjeri? What's up? I'm great. Hope you're doing fine. Hope you are having a great day. Depends. If you sign Gehi, that would be fantastic for you, by the way. That genuinely would be fantastic for you. Just saying, putting that out now. Anyhow, no more news in this instance. Let's go and check. Is there anything on Arsenal's front here? Calafiori, Dinner, Arteta. So nothing here. Anything from Fabrizio Romano? Anything for Arsenal in this instance? Let's make it a bit brighter. Maybe I will look better in this slide. Yes, I look better. So anything? Chelsea have signed another player. Chelsea will sign another player. Yo, Chelsea are signing half the world. De Gea is going to Fiorentina apparently. Rennes, Mason Mount, United. So nothing about Arsenal. Nothing on Arsenal, right? Yep, nothing on Pepe has... This is a big one. Official, Pepe announces his retirement from football at age 41. 878 games in his career, 34 trophies. Phenomenal career for a guy. He is the guy in your team you love to have, but absolutely despise despise to play against. And every team needs that player. And to be honest, Gabriel could be in that category if he actually plays his cards right. But yeah, anything in the latest news for Arsenal for about, I will be alive for about 2-3 minutes. Let's see, Arsenal 100 away week forward now wants to join another Premier League club. According to TBR Football, let's see. It's Reece Nelson, Arsenal ace. What ace is he? What ace? Reece Nelson wants Premier League move. The player in question is Reece Nelson. West Ham have been linked with the Reece Nelson, while Leicester City are said to have made their move for Nelson. Remains to be seen, because I've read that Leicester are signing a winger, West Ham are signing a different winger, Leicester are interested in Bergwijn, so all remains to be seen what's gonna happen there. Anything else? Arsenal give club chance to sign their top level player, totally up to them. Arsenal now set to launch a bid for world-class player after fresh talks earlier today. This is 100% Mikel Merino. This is 100% Mikel Merino. Correct. Arsenal now preparing the bid in coming days. And that player is... yeah, it is Mikel Merino, of course. Nothing new here. Exactly! Premier League kicks off in 8 days. 9 days for Arsenal. And we have done nothing in this window. This is the big thing. This is the most frustrating thing in the world. It's mad. Genuinely mad. Just in case you missed Leverkusen match in full, Kroenke explains his goal for Arsenal. Nothing more in this. This is genuinely, this is like the per check window. Sign one player who was not an outfield player. At this moment in Arsenal's transfer window, we have signed one player, that is Calafiori. That's it. No moves, no striker, no nothing. If we don't sign a striker, in my opinion, we already can kiss the title or any cup goodbye. Genuinely. Nothing more, nothing less. You can kiss it goodbye. But anyhow, on that note, I'm gonna end today's stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you had a great time. I had a blast. Thank you guys so much for chatting, for being here. Big up everyone in the chat who interacted. If you're new around here, of course, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to smash a thumbs up, as I said. Don't forget to subscribe. Do all those things. Big up to Pepper in the chat. Big up to Adieri in the chat. Big up to Troy in the chat. Big up the guys. Big up everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Gonna be back tomorrow with some more Arsenal transfer updates and other discussions. Take care. Stay safe. Have a great evening. Have a great Friday. Stay safe. And, well, let's hope Arsenal signs someone soon.